Hello guys, welcome back to Coniferia. In today's episode we are gonna switch things up a bit and do a bit of a different theme than what we've been doing for the past couple of episodes. And if you're unaware of what I'm talking about, then for the past couple of episodes we've been focusing on the city of Port Douglas, which is the capital of our region. And we've been building some really high density stuff. We've been building new areas here in the southern part of the downtown core that are quite high density, I would say. You get a real slice of big city life if you live here in Port Douglas. And in the past, most recent episode, we've even been revamping the downtown core here to make it even more dense. We've brought in a host of nice looking skyscrapers, and this is a theme we're gonna continue on with. But seeing as that's all that big city folk stuff, today we're gonna move on to something very different. We are moving back to mainland Coniferia, more specifically Pine Harbour, where, zoning and building regulations are just a little different than over in, super progressive, woke Port Douglas. Nah, here in Pine Harbour, we value the single family detached house living, and that's why the city is slowly turning into a sprawling mess, as you guys can see. There's been some recent high density developments. We've got this, mixed use complex we built a couple of episodes ago, and the area immediately surrounding the train station also has a bit of high density, but otherwise it's all about that, the single family detached house dream here in Pine Harbour, and we're gonna continue that today. And I think a good area we could start is right here in the northwestern part of the city. This is the suburb of South Garland and North Garland that we built a handful of episodes ago. And we kind of wrapped up with building this very modern looking Macy's department store and these modern looking apartment complexes. So I think it's a pretty good fit if we expand out here and build some modern low density suburbia. We might mix in a few apartment complexes because Coniferia is a fictional, it's a fictional theme, right? We're not, it's another US city or a Canadian city or an Australian city. It's a mix of everything. So we can do what we want. We have that creative freedom. But generally, this area is going to be pretty low density and it's going to be pretty sprawling. Now, one key thing we're going to start off with is expanding the existing highway or interstate network here in Coniferia. This big piece of land here is known among locals as the Valley. And we're gonna take this highway and we're gonna cut straight through the valley, probably connect it over here at some point in the future. Maybe not in this episode, it might take a little too long. But we're gonna start up with expanding the highway network. We're gonna cut through the valley so that we can provide easy access with people, with cars to the suburban sprawl. And I mean, we need highways for proper sprawl, right? So that's gonna be the main focus of this episode. Now, before we get started, though, we've got a little vote. We've got a little vote that we actually have to take care of. And this vote is for the City Council of Port Douglas, which is all you guys, coincidentally. Now, as you guys will know, Port Douglas is rapidly growing. It's taking to the skies. And this is a theme that's going to continue because the investor interest in Port Douglas is unprecedented. Investors are lining up to buy out existing parcels and to build tall buildings. And one such proposal has just arrived at my front door, but I need you guys' input as the City Council of Port Douglas because this one is a bit tricky. So this small old building you guys see here, which might not look like much, is actually, it's almost like it's an icon for the civil rights movement that occurred in the Coniferia region during the 1950s. And today it's a community outreach center. So it's run by a non-profit organization. But this building is being leased by that organization from us, from the city. So in theory, we can do with it what we want. And the thing is that there's this major international bank that has just proposed to outright buy the lot or this parcel from us, from the city, and then they'd like to propose a big fancy office skyscraper, really modern looking. It's gonna, it's gonna provide more than 1,000 well-paid jobs to Port Douglas, and it's probably gonna be a really nice addition to the skyline and the overall cityscape. I mean, this building is a little old, it is a little rundown, and the location is amazing, right? But a community outreach center, I mean, there might be a bit of outrage if we just sell it and, let the big business move in, but don't we want a cool skyscraper? I don't know. I'm gonna make a vote on the community page. You can go down and vote now, and if you have any comments that you'd like to be taken into consideration for the vote, please feel free. I'll make sure to get the vote created so that when you're watching this, you can go vote. All right, with that out of the way, it's time for us to dive into the lost dream of suburbia. And as I said, we're gonna start with the highway expansions, and I think I'm just gonna shut up and stop rambling, and I'll throw on some nice music because there's really not all that much to explain. I mean, we're building a highway, right? So yeah, let's go. And yeah, I definitely spoke too soon. I made it sound like it would be easy for me to build a highway interchange, because I've done it maybe a dozen times in this series, and I've had some times where, I've really utilized the network multi-tools to make it quick and efficient. But I digress this time around. It quickly dawned on me that it's actually several months since I built proper highways here in the region, and I've sort of just forgotten how to do it efficiently. So what you'll actually end up seeing here is some pretty harsh editing, because I edit out most of the trouble I had trying to use the loop and curve functionality of the network multi-tools, because I just completely forgot how to do it. But I guess it's normal. I hope it's normal. If it happens to you as well, so you haven't used a particular mod or a particular functionality for a couple of months, you get super rusty and don't remember how to do it. If that's the case, please let me know. It would definitely make me feel better about this project here. But as I said, I'm just gonna edit it a bit so that it looks like I'm really great at building highways super efficiently. But let me tell you, I've cut out quite a bit of troubleshooting here, because it didn't work out. So yeah, I guess I felt like sharing that. Don't believe that I can just super quickly churn out a nice looking highway interchange, because I become rusty as well, and I completely forget how to actually do it. So yeah, keep that in mind. But yeah, just wanted to share that. I promise I'll let some of the music kick in now and stop rambling. I guess that actually turned out all right. So, in spur of the moment decision, I added these red arrows that sort of indicate that you should probably take it a little slow here because it's quite twisty. These are obviously inspired by some of the decal work that is done in Japan, and I guess the beauty of the Coniferia theme is that it's entirely fictional, so we can kind of play around with things. Now I just got an idea that I have to share with you guys, and it's crazy and it's risky. It might completely hijack this episode and mean that this entire episode is gonna be around creating network infrastructure, and we're not gonna place a single cookie cutter McMansion or low density commercial in this episode. So I think we're gonna go ahead and do it. And my idea is that something that is sort of missing here that I would like is to have like a pretty big, at least 4-lane main road that sort of cuts through the area in some way. And I was considering upgrading this road here, and I might still do that, but I don't want this to be sort of the main road. I'd like the main road to cut through this suburbia to be in a little, a little more connected to Pine Harbour in general. And Pine Harbour is already flanked by this 4-lane ring road that sort of, it almost marks the, northern boundaries and western boundaries of like the original city of Pine Harbour. And as you guys can see, most of the stuff beyond the ring road is more modern developments. We've got these areas that are obviously not more than a couple of decades old. Over here we've got some 1970s public housing, some older industry. So there's like a general theme of this being the ring road, and I think it would be cool if we took this ring road and we cut straight through this little lake here, and then we went. Yeah, I haven't really thought this through as okay, I've got it under control. We cut through the lake, above it, obviously. Then we go underneath this highway segment. We go underneath these train tracks, and then we resurface over here, or maybe we just make it sunken. That is less realistic, but it looks cooler, and we are in the cool zone today, I feel. And then we can have that main road sort of cut through the area and connect it up here. I think that would look really cool. How realistic would that be from like a city planning perspective? I don't know, but I mean, even in real life, we see some crazy, wacky stuff. So I think we should do this. So I'm just gonna pause the game, and I guess I'll have to remove this little segment here, this entrance to this cute little row house segment we've got here, and then we're gonna pick this road. And let's see, how do I do this the best way? We could drag it out from here. Then we need to go, I guess first we'll just get it placed, and then we'll handle all the raised and lowered segments afterwards. So if we do let's make it a little bendy here. I think that would make sense. We'll do something like this. We'll connect it up here, and we'll just go straight through here. And we are gonna remove most of these minor roads, because they won't be here anymore after we kind of change up the area. But let's just remove all this stuff, so that we can sort of get an overview. We'll have to remove these as well. These are props, so that's why I couldn't just remove them as trees. Oh, slippery fingers there. All right, so that's our first step. There's a bit of a curve here I don't like, but we can fix that. That's a minor issue. There are probably gonna be big issues to fix, is what I'm trying to say. All right, we of course need to turn this segment into a raised segment, so we'll just go ahead and do that. Something like this. Is there actually a bridge? It doesn't really matter what we do. Okay. And why do we have? Never mind. That looks fine. It's this is fine. Cute meme with fire everywhere. So far, so good. I guess we'll actually need to lower this because we need to like comfortably go underneath the highway, even for trucks, right? But we should have the clearance we need. So I think this should be fine. We can have this sort of elevated. That's fine. And this can be, we can make something like this. This is a little more smooth to look at. All right. And we'll of course need some proper intersection here. So we'll return to this segment later. I think for now we're just gonna prepare for a bigger intersection build here of some sort. And yeah. We are naturally gonna lower this as well because we wanna go underneath the train tracks. And luckily this the railway or train track network I'm using has a pretty good texture, even just this non-elevated segment. So we should be able to just make some custom underpasses here that hopefully look all right. And we'll just align like this, and then over here it looks a little wonky. But that's not as important. We can just make this straight and just cut straight through here. And we'll just start with this for now. We want this intersection here, so that's all fine. Move this a bit out of the way. Get some alignment here. Maybe this is even too low. I suspect it is. Alternatively, we could raise the train tracks just ever so slightly. Yeah, let's start by just converting this into sort of a dedicated raised segment. See if that looks a little better. Is it a dedicated bridge segment? Maybe. It gets this massive pillar. Okay, never mind. We'll figure something out. Doesn't matter right now. So let's just take a look at the gradients we've got going here. If I slope this, there you go, then that looks kind of cool actually. Clearance over here, definitely on the low side. We'll add another node here so that we can increase the clearance just a bit right below the train tracks here. Oh, not sure what happened there, but yeah, here's an overview of the city anyways. All right, that's pretty cool. And if we're super cheeky, we're of course gonna increase the complexity by doing something like this. Let's see. That's perfect. Perfect is a big word to use right now. That's let's say good enough, and we'll take it from there. Okay. So that's one highway access, and it would of course be really cool if we could somehow add another one. I'm gonna try something here. Oh. Alright, so I've actually tracked down a pretty beautiful bridge segment which I can use. So I am hopeful that if I place place my nodes correctly here, then I can have something really nice looking. So let's see if we jump, if I just grab this and upgrade it, then that's not great because there's no room. Is there another bridge that might work? Or what if we drag this out? Will it then? Yeah, I mean, it is going to... Let's just drag this segment a bit as well. That's not really gonna work, is it? Unless I really just drag this node arbitrarily long. Nah, it's not gonna work. I'll keep looking. Alright, so I've settled for this look, and I actually tried to record the creation of this, but I started having some issues with these system interrupts, unfortunately. It's a process that just took 100% CPU, and effectively it made me unable to record anything. So that's a real bummer. Yeah, I don't hope that happens again. But I've now updated all drivers and did a fresh restart of my PC, so hopefully no more issues. Anyways, this is sort of the look I'm gonna go for right now. It's rather simple, and we will probably need to... Do we need to lower this? Nah, there's plenty of clearance here actually. Come to think of it, there might be too much, so let's do our very scientific approach of just grabbing a truck, putting the truck below and seeing if it fits. So we'll just put an oil truck here, and we'll put a truck here, and we'll have a look. And it seems that there is plenty of room, so that's perfect. No more iterations, and as you guys can see, the network is already being used, which is really cool. But of course, it does connect up here to North Garland and South Garland, which are pretty populated areas. Much of it is low density, but I mean, we've got more than 1,000 residents here in North Garland, primarily because of this bulky thick boy apartment complex. But yeah, it's nice to already see a bit of traffic here. So I think I'm just gonna spend a little time detailing up some of these new connections we've got here, as well as the surrounding landscape.
Clouds roll and then fade away, hiding from what you wanna say. All the games you play, I'm still waiting. Evening fades into the dawn. Lights go out, but you don't come home. And we're still alone. and then fade away, hiding from what you wanna say. All the games you play, I'm still waiting. Evening fades into the dawn. The lights go out, but you don't come home. You're still alone. I'm still waiting, 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 waiting. I'm still waiting, still waiting.
Alright guys, can you imagine just for a second that not that long ago we had a beautiful lake here, not completely uninterrupted, there was a highway running nearby, but otherwise a beautiful recreational space, and we've now introduced 1,000 tons of concrete and thick pillars and ever-increasing traffic. Job well done, I'd say. What a monster we've created here. But I think it looks super cool. I don't know how realistic this is, but I mean, I've seen some wacky highways from my times. And I mean, you just Google Earth, take a look at, you know, any run-of-the-mill Midwest US city, and you will find some wacky stuff. So yeah, why not? And I think this sort of wraps up what we'll get done in this episode. So not only is this interchange here pretty insane, but also cool to look at. The intersection here, just what a meat grinder. I'm happy I'm not the one who has to commute through this every morning. So to make this really cool, you would spend some extra time setting up some timed traffic lights. But for now, with the low level of traffic, I didn't want to really invest time into that. But you know, that's probably a good idea in the future as traffic here hopefully increases. Venturing over here, I think this is sort of the first time I've experimented, with you know, some procedural objects to create these highway signs and gantries, and I've made an obvious mistake here in that I don't know how this works, so I kind of treated these arrow indications as being this lane, so that if you go straight here, you can go left to the northern suburbs. If you go straight here, of course it flips and merges into this highway segment, which does go into the northern suburbs. But if you turn east and you go through this loop here, you can go right and get to western Pine Harbour. It doesn't really make much sense because, or at least I think this indicates going straight through, not taking this third lane. And yeah, I didn't really know what to put here, so I just said northern Pine Harbour. So obviously this is something I need to learn a bit, but for now I just wanted to try it out. Just get a bit of a feel for it and see how long it would take, because there's always like an investment of time, versus the outcome. But it was actually quite fun. I think over here it's maybe a little better because it's a bit of a more simple construction we have here. You can either go straight or you can take this off ramp. And the off ramp leads to North Garland and South Garland, the two sort of areas right here. And then if you go straight, you will ultimately be able to go to Port Douglas if that's what you want. But you'll also enter this large open area here, which I've called the flatlands, for like a better term. Actually, how would you indicate that if you go straight, there are multiple destinations, important destinations? So some people would just go straight through here because they need to go somewhere in this rural area, but other people would go straight because they want to make a left at this bad boy over here. Ooh, it's lagging a bit, sorry. That want to make a left here, merge onto this highway, which of course ultimately leads to the capital city of Port Douglas. How would you actually write that? I am certain there are some highway experts among you guys, because there are experts in just about any field among my subscribers, which is super awesome. So let me know what I could change this to, because I'd like to learn a bit more about this. Another thing entirely is the actual scale of this. Do I need to upscale these? It just looks a little small, but I don't know. Anyways, I just did this for an experimentation, so we can look into doing more of these if you think they're a cool addition. I think it adds a little bit extra detail. I think I'm gonna wrap up with some cinematics now. As I sort of expected, this crazy construction here kind of hijacked the episode, and we didn't actually get to build any suburbia today. So hopefully in the next episode or two we'll really get started with that. But now we've got this big infrastructure monstrosity in place, so that's a good start. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll get some sweet cinematics of this. Bye.